to everybody around the world. Good Erev Shabbos to all. This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Segal Network. Our show is sponsored by Abels and Hyman. For those of you who don't know me or just tuning in for the first time, I'm Naomi Nachman, and I'm about all the food all the time. I love to shop for it, cook it, eat at restaurants, anything food related. I'm a kosher personal chef. My business is called the Aussie Gourmet, and I cook for people for Shabbos, for Yontif, for Hanukkah. Anytime you don't feel like cooking, you can give me a call. I hope you'll tune in every week and hear about my crazy cooking adventures, and I call it my kosher food traveling because I love to travel and search out kosher food wherever I am. But I would like to hear about your experiences as well. So please feel free to drop me a line at naomi@nachumsegal.com. Let me know what you're cooking or what cookbook you like or what your favorite restaurant is or what recipe you think I should try. I love to hear from everybody, and thank you to everyone who does email me in because I really love getting the emails. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, and I have a newsletter on my website, theaussiegourmet.com. So, yeah, if you have a great experience food-wise, or anything you want to share in life, I'm always happy to hear it. We have a really exciting show. We were on hiatus last week, so we have a lot to catch up on with everybody, which I'm really excited to do. We've got very exciting guests. I have Gail Rand from the Kosher Foodie Box, and then Rebbetzin Danit Schusterman from Maui. I did an interview with her while I was in Hawaii last week. Yes, Hawaii, crazy. Lots of food experiences to share there too. And then, of course, I've got Rabbi Alexander Rappaport from Maspia, who's got so much to talk about. So we're really excited to have him on the show. So stick around for the next hour while you cook and prepare for Shabbat and, you know, enjoy hanging out together. Okay, so on the line I have with me Gail Rand. Gail,
yes,
are you there?
Hello, Naomi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Great, Baruch Hashem. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Like, you know, just trying to catch up with this crazy weather. You know, it's been crazy in New York, and I can't take the rain.
Oh.
It's been non-stop rain all week, so I don't know, you know, just trying to focus on serving hot soups and staying warm internally by eating hot food all week. That's all I've been doing all week is cooking hot food.
Yeah.
And as a fellow foodie, I'm sure you get all that stuff.
Oh, soup, for sure.
So Gail and I met a couple of weeks ago, and I actually got a lead from our assistant executive. What's Danny's title? Assistant to the director. I'm sorry, Danny, I'm messing that up. But Danny Goldberg is our assistant here in the Nachum Segal Network, and he gave me this lead that I should reach out to you at Kosher Foodie Box. And then literally like a week later, I met you in person because we think here at the studio, being, you know, big foodies that we all are, the Nachum Segal Network team, we are all serious foodies, that this would have been a great thing for us to reach out to you. And then we met, and, you know, I was so excited to meet you and talk about this. So I'm actually holding up to the camera for those of you who listen to our show. We also have, you can watch our show. We have a channel on YouTube called the Nachum Segal Network channel. And you can, you know, you go onto YouTube, you find it, and then you find the Table for Two shows. So people can also watch our show. So I asked Gail if she could send me a Kosher Foodie box to open on camera. So
okay.
So I'm holding up the box. And it was really cool that it had my name on it because usually my kids are getting deliveries and not me. So thank you, Gail, for sending that up.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm opening the box. Now, this box is the fall sampler, right?
This box is what everyone who ordered the late autumn 2014 box received.
Okay, so I'm opening it up. It's very exciting. Okay, now, to explain to us, you know, I'm going to just slowly take out things, but explain to us a little bit before how you got this idea.
How I got the idea, well, quite honestly, I have no professional cooking background. I have no cooking training. I'm not a gourmet. I'm not a chef. That's why I use the word foodie.
Okay.
I'm still learning about techniques. There are many ingredients that I haven't tried. And I just really wanted to find ways to, you know, get new products and exciting products in the exploding kosher market that may not be available everywhere, and just look into new things that would add dimension to my cooking.
Okay, so this.
But the truth is, it's not all ingredients. We do try to have a nice mixture. That some of the things can be eaten right out of the box, such as we usually have a snack item.
So I'm holding up the white egg white chips with sea salt and black pepper. Okay, that came in.
And I have to tell you, they have wanted to be in the box since our first box went out over 4 months ago. But since they have gotten so popular, they never had the stock to give us into the box. So they were finally excited to be able to participate with that.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how this gets to you or one who orders it. It's a box of food specialty items that you order, and once a month, right?
Oh, no, it's every other month.
Every other month, right? So that's why you're here to explain to us how this all works. So. What happens? You get every other month. You get a box delivered.
Every other month, you receive a box with up to 6 single-serving or sample-size items, and we make sure that they're always generously sized.
Okay, so this is a really cute idea for Hanukkah. This is like a perfect gift for Hanukkah.
Well, we are actually offering gift subscriptions for Hanukkah, and we're actually offering the box that you have that you're opening up right now. We're offering that to be sent to your gift recipient on Hanukkah itself. And then they will receive the next box in mid-January. That will be the winter box. And then they will be followed every other month, March, May, and then July, and so on. They'll be in the regular 2-month cycle.
Uh-huh. That's very cool. Now, you have a special offer for our listeners.
Yes. The special offer is the first 2 boxes will be at a 33% savings.
Okay, and how do we find that?
Oh, sorry. If you go to kosherfoodieBox.com/NS, like Nachum Siegel, NS, you will get straight to the page where it explains how the program works, what gift subscriptions are available, and you can sign up you just click on to order, and you'll be taken to the ordering page.
Okay, this is really exciting. So this can go all over the United States or all over the world. Can I send this to my mum in Australia?
I'm afraid not. Because of the Kosher Foodie Box really is to give people a taste of what's out there. And then, so if we sent it somewhere else, well, first of all, the shipping would probably be prohibitive.
Yeah, probably.
But on top of that, subscribers would be pretty disappointed if they loved something in the box and it wasn't available where they lived.
True.
These are items that are available within the United States and may not be available elsewhere. So.
Okay, so it's just for the United States, because we do have listeners around the world.
Okay, and just to continue to the United States, I know you mentioned Hawaii before, so no, we're not sending to Hawaii, we're not sending to Alaska, but otherwise you're more than welcome to order
but in the continental USA, you can order any of these any foodie boxes. Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, now
and if you want to order gift subscription for yourself, we won't judge you. That's absolutely fine. You're still welcome to take advantage of the offer.
It doesn't have to be a gift. It can be for yourself. A gift to yourself.
Of course.
I like that. I like that. That's very cute. Okay, so how do you get all these cool products? Like, how do you decide? Because in this one, you have chopped green chilies.
Yes. That's actually very exciting. We have found that ethnic foods from different cultures are very, very popular now that the kosher market has really exploded.
Yes.
And now that people are doing a lot of cooking. So the chilies are actually great. My daughter-in-law recently made shakshuka with it, and if I tell you, the house smelled amazing.
Probably smelled like Machane Yehuda.
Pretty much. It did smell pretty authentic. We also have a recipe that we developed in our kitchen for schog that uses the chilies. That's going to be going up on our website this week.
Ooh.
And we also have a Chinese dish. We do also, when we do have ingredients, we do develop our own recipes as well as get recipes from the manufacturers, which we share on our website as well.
That is actually a brilliant idea. So, like, I've never actually cooked with chopped green chilies, fire roasted at that. I've used fire roasted tomatoes, which are so good in your pasta sauce when you're making your own. But so I would go onto your website and find recipes for stuff that I find in my box.
You would find recipes. You'll also find links to where you can purchase more. And for that one in particular, the Hatch brand, they also brand for, I want to say Trader Joe's, but I'm sorry, for Whole Foods. So the Whole Foods fire roasted green chilies are the same as these. So if you can't find the Hatch brand locally, you can go into your Whole Foods and get the same exact chilies as what you've received in the box.
That is brilliant. It's such a brilliant marketing plan, not only for you, whose idea this was and it's your business, but for companies. They're probably actually fighting to get in who gets to be in the box.
Companies are very, very excited about this, and we always make sure that that we don't do too many of the same products in the same box. Like, we try to make sure that we have a nice range. Like I said before, some things you can eat right out of the box. Some things, like last month, we had the dried cherries that were dusted in the sour sugar. Now, those you can eat as a snack,
Nice.
or you can put them in, or you can actually bake them in cookies. So those things like that can really go either way.
Gail, I'm digging.
And then there's things like the rub that you do have,
Right, I'm holding that up. I'm holding that up.
Use it.
Yeah, I'm holding that up to the camera so everyone can see. This char crust rub, I see these in Gourmet Glad. I've never actually used them. Now I have one. I'll be able to use it.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting about the char crust is that, like you said, you've seen it in Gourmet Glad. Some other people have mentioned to me, oh, well, I've seen this in the 5 pounds, but then the people in Brooklyn have never seen it before. So occasionally there are things in the box that you may have seen in your store, but they're always like smaller, more niche-type items, so they may not be in every single market.
Right.
So that's really what we're trying to do, is get a more broader, mass exposure.
It's fantastic. Here, I'm holding up the last thing I pulled out, and it comes cool. For those of you who are listening, it's nicely packaged. Like, it comes in a United States postal box, but you open it up and you see food, but you're seeing it packed in with all this cool, funky papers, orange and green packaging.
It is a bit of a party in the box. Yes,
it's a party in a box. It's confetti almost. Yeah. And it's got some information in it about the products as well, pamphlets. And look, I've got Prezzo here. I've got something called, what's it called here?
Oh, yes.
Jers Chocolates. 15% off online. Oh, it's got a coupon. Excellent. Here, guys. ZK, we're going to eat a little. ZK and I'm going to eat this on the show. Those
are actually a high-end gourmet peanut butter covered in chocolate with bits of pretzels in it. So that is something you've probably never tasted before.
Yummy.
And they did give us a discount code, so you can order more from the website.
Oh, that's fantastic. Gail, thank you so much. I'm just opening up.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, this is the chocolate for those of you who are watching, and I wish everyone that was listening could see what I'm doing here in the studio, because this is like I've got now a party on my desk. I've got chips and I've got tea and nuts, and we'll have a little party later on. But thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
You're very welcome. I just want to mention about the Hammond's Black Walnuts. I don't know if you've had a chance to try. Well, actually, I guess you haven't, because you just opened up the box. But to be honest with you, when we first saw this at the Fancy Food Show, we thought, oh, a walnut is a walnut. But it's not. These are walnuts that grow wild, and it really is completely different, woodsy, earthy, delicious taste. I mean, everything that we pick, we really make sure is something unusual and different, and hopefully something that you'll want to, continue using.
Because foodies want it, and if foodies want it, you want it to be a high-quality ingredient. Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much. And everyone, go to kosherfoodiebox.com/NS, and you will get our Nachum Siegel Network special on the Kosher Foodie Box. Hanukkah's just a week away, so you might as well. Less than a week away. Crazy. So we need to. Yeah, I already had some donuts already, just getting ready this morning. I said, you know what, 5-6 days to Hanukkah, I'm going to have a donut. So, okay, thank you, Gail. Take care.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we'll be following you along. See how you're going on.
Okay. Terrific. Enjoy everything in the box, Naomi.
All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, Gail Rand. Wow, this is great. I've got a little whole party on my desk. Okay, wow. ZK, we will eat this after the show. I want to try those walnuts. They look great. Okay, very exciting show we have here today. Okay, I have a very exciting guest. Rabbi Rapport, why don't you come sit here for a minute? We're going to get you some earphones. What I would like to do is, I think it's time to do the interview. with, as I mentioned earlier on in the show, I had a very unique opportunity. I know you all think I travel a lot. It's just been the last few months. And a lot of it was for work. Everyone goes, stop apologising for travelling so much. Good for you. But my husband had a big birthday, so we decided instead of a party, we'd go on a little trip. So you'll hear more in the interview how I got to go on this trip. But, you know, whenever I go anywhere, I have to search out, especially for Shabbat or just in general, I'm always looking for kosher food. And I can't even tell you how much kosher food I found on shelves in random supermarkets around Hawaii. Like on the top of a mountain in Maui, I found like kosher coconut aminos, acids that Chani Apfelbaum taught us when she was on our show back in June in Gourmet Glatt. She did a paleo diet recipe and talked about coconut aminos. I couldn't find them in Gourmet Glatt, but I found them on top of a mountain in Maui with a star K Hersha. So it's amazing what you'll find across the board, across Hawaii, in kosher food. So a lot of farmers markets, a lot of shechianos were flying around. I made so many shechianos, amazing, amazing fruits. But one of the amazing highlights of the trip was meeting the Chabad rabbis, Rabbi Schusterman in Maui and their Rebbitzins, and their amazing Rebbitzins, and Rabbi Krasniansky in Honolulu. But we spent quite a bit of time with the Schustermans, Rabbi Rebbitzin Schusterman in Maui, and we even got to be part of their Hachnasat Sefer Torah. If you go onto my Facebook page, you'll see my husband Dov dancing at the airport as the Torah comes off the plane. That was their first Torah in Maui that they owned. They had a borrowed one, and now they have their own, which was so exciting to be a part of that. So I'm going to play my interview with Rebbitzin Schusterman, who actually has a cookbook. So we're going to talk about that. All stay tuned for the next 20 minutes for our interview with the Rebbitzin. Okay. Mahalo. Aloha. To Rebbitzin Schusterman. That was my new word that I learned in Hawaii. Mahalo means thank you. Aloha. Aloha. Aloha actually is like shalom, like hello and goodbye, not the peace part. So that's a multi-purpose word, but mahalo means thank you. So to her for joining me on that evening. Okay, this is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Segal Network. Our show is sponsored by Abels and Hyman. We taste better. I'd just like to continue with our interviews and our fun morning. But of course, I'd like to mention our What's for Dinner segment. Not even mention it. We're going to do our What's for Dinner segment. But it was actually, I'm calling it for today, What's for Lunch. So I've gotten a bit on this gluten-free kick. So I went to Trader Joe's with my husband the other day and I bought some gluten-free waffles. And I was really, really hungry by lunchtime yesterday. So I'm like, okay, I want to have a waffle. But I'm not just going to eat a regular waffle. You know how like waffles are really popular. And you know I always talk about the chicken and waffles from our friends at Gotham Burger. But I wanted to have a waffle for lunch. So I then I bought some frozen waffles and I put it in the toaster oven. And then I put on top of it, when it was cool enough, I put some avocado on it. Slices of yellow Zima tomatoes from, I buy them in Gourmet Glatt, of course. And then I took black Hawaiian salt that I had bought. It's called black lava salt. Okay, and then I bought at Gourmet Glatt, who is the sponsor of our What's for Lunch / Dinner segment here. And then I took sriracha. I hope I'm even saying it right. And I drizzled it all over the top. Now, my friend Chani Apfelbaum from Busy in Brooklyn, who's actually going to be on our show next week. So she taught me to drizzle sriracha over everything, and I started doing that. So it was delicious. So I had my gluten-free waffle with some avocado, yellow tomatoes, and black sea salt, and then I drizzled it in sriracha. That was the most delicious lunch. It was amazing. It was better than having bread, and it's better than having some gluten. So if you ever have a chance to build a little sandwich like that, and it was really good. And you could even do it on like a Sunday morning for brunch or breakfast, Hanukkah parties. You can even get like mini waffles, and you can make like mini appetizers with that. It was very cute. Okay, so you're listening to Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Segal Network, also heard on Arut Sheva English Radio. I'm sitting here on the Lower East Side. It's been a crazy rainy week, and I'd like to welcome Alexander Rappaport from Masbia. This is such an honor for me to have you. You've been reaching out to me for like a year. Took us a while to finally connect, and we met up at the Kosher Food Bloggers Conference in person, and now we're here on the Lower East Side together.
Yeah, thank you for having me. What an honor.
Oh, no, it's really our pleasure, and we're very glad you're joining us. Okay, can we just talk for like a minute or two about the history of Masbia, how it came to be?
So there was, for those who know, there's a guy named Mordechai Mandelbaum. We used to be chavrusa. We used to study Talmud together. And one day this idea came up that if only we would start a soup kitchen, people will come and help us keep the lights open or keep the pantry full of food. So from schmoozing, he wanted to take it to reality, and he kind of found seed money to find a place, renovate it to be a place that's going to be a reliable place to do dinner. Now, Mordechai Mandelbaum, the people might know his wife. She's known as Yitta Halberstam from Small Miracles and Holy Brother.
Sure.
Yeah,
Small world. You never know what connections you find.
So they're on a very personal level. They're very into chesed and have homeless people sleeping at their home, eating at their home.
Wow.
And this was a way to do that in a more in an organized way, in a reliable way, where there's going to be every night there's going to be a dinner for a couple hours, regardless if they go out of town or if anything. This is going to be, and we had no idea what it's going to happen, what it's going to be, how is it going to look like. And the first night, I remember we prepared 25 meals, and only 8 people showed up.
Okay, now where was this located?
So this was
first one
on 14th Avenue. We're still there in Borough Park.
14th and what street?
42nd and 41st and 42nd.
Oh, okay.
And the first night, 8 people showed up, but within a few months, we were doing 100 already.
Wow. So how does this whole concept work? Like, people just know to come to you for dinner because they can't afford to make dinner themselves? Like,
we kind of say it's, and People Magazine had a headline with us that way, as a restaurant without a cash register. That's what it is. It's a storefront. It's a restaurant. If you don't have a meal, if you're from out of town, or if you're hungry, you can't afford to buy a meal, you can walk into our place and you'll be served dinner. That's the basics of it. There's always, dinner means that we usually have 4 hot items, which is the soup and the protein and 2 sides. There's always bread. There's always some condiments.
It's a meat restaurant?
Yeah, it's
just meat. So you're not really open for breakfast.
Yeah, so we're open from 3 to 8. We try to say 3 to 7:30 because we want the people to be out by 8. So it's kind of 5 hours dinner every day. And
who's preparing all this food? And is the food being donated? The ingredients?
Most of the food we still need to buy. We actually have our chef is Ruben Diaz. He's from Colombia. He went to the Kosher Culinary Arts
in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Jesse with CKCA.
Yeah, he's a student of theirs.
Fantastic.
And he now prepares about 500 meals every day. So we have 3 locations now. One is on Coney Island Avenue between J and K in Flatbush. The other one is on Queens Boulevard in what's called Rego Park, Queens.
Sure.
And between the 3 places, we already exceeded some days 600 meals. So every day we get fresh cooked meals and we send it out to the 3 places. One doesn't need to be sent out because one is where the kitchen is.
Okay. So the other 2 locations is just
it's just a dining room.
A dining room. That's the word I'm looking for. Just a dining room. Unbelievable. And how do people know to come to you? How do you reach out to the needy? Because I'm sure that's a project in itself, because people are modest or they're embarrassed to come.
Yeah. So I'll tell you an interesting thing. So we do we do fundraising. So every fundraiser brings us new clients. So if we do a solicitation, we take a zip code in Borough Park and we send them letters for Hanukkah. That'll also mean people learning about us and kind of, maybe I need something. Maybe I could use this. And we get calls as well. And the other thing is we intentionally are located on street fronts, like it looks like a regular storefront,
a major thoroughfare.
Yeah, so it's not like in the basement of a shul connected to some other institution. So we're very visible as a standalone storefront, which that alone gives us the if you live in the neighborhood, you see us. you pass the place.
Right.
And
You get a lot of foot traffic, local foot traffic. People see, they spread the word. Unbelievable. When did this start? How many years ago?
so we're getting close to the 10th year.
Oh,
so,
wow.
So Rosh Chodesh Nisan would be the so that's like April.
We have to get together then and celebrate.
Yeah, it would be 10 years, and we actually like did the mezuzah fixing where we got all the Borough Park Rebbes to come and do the mezuzah fixing. But actually, Mandelbaum was so like, we have to be open. He really preempted it, and we were open actually a week ahead of because he said, "Oh, we spent too much money already, and nobody yet ate. And it was like, hey, we have to. I need to see people eating. I need to see people. So we kind of, even before the official ceremony, we already were serving people.
Oh, unbelievable! I know that Susie Fishbein has been very involved. Jamie Geller has been very involved.
Yeah, St. Deutsch.
Very nice.
And a lot of other people who were not so visible were also
Roll
very
up their sleeves
and help out. We still rely a lot on private donations to pay our rent, to pay our staff, to buy food. Everything is still. We have a over $2 million budget. We get a lot of food donated. We get some stuff that's available, what we call the system, which is like commodities that are available. Most of them are not kosher. We try to take advantage of the ones that are kosher for soup kitchens. And we rely a lot on the private donor to keep our place going. So it's always the glass is half full, glass is half empty. The idea that we're around for 10 years is the idea that there's so many good people out there that help us keep open. The idea that it's every day still a struggle. So that's that's the glasses half empty side of it. So for Hanukkah, so there's one part I didn't yet mention is every Thursday we give out packages.
For Shabbos.
So I don't like to call it Shabbos. I call it a weekend package because I try to keep expectations low, where there isn't like a challah or a fish and a grape juice in it. It's more what type of groceries we're able to get. We try to make sure that there is at least 9 meals for every person in the family in it. What that means is like it's based on a model where there must be enough groceries to keep a family going for 3 days. But it's not. And we don't call it Shabbos just because it doesn't have the Shabbos ingredients necessarily.
Okay, I'm with you.
So between the hot food and the packages we'll be serving this year, by the end of 2014, we'll be serving this year alone 1.5 million meals. So,
just this year alone?
Just this year alone.
I literally have tears in my eyes. That's unbelievable.
It's every day a challenging task. I mean, running a restaurant in New York City is challenging.
Right, but something on this scheme and level.
And without the cash register, it's even more challenging. And what we also try to do a lot is, because we have this very open door policy, we serve everyone. There's no one like this. It's kosher, it's glatt kosher, but anybody could walk in. We have the entire mosaic of New York City walking in and having a meal, and we try to make it what we call a Kiddush Hashem, sanctification of God's name. We try to be that organization that everybody could feel proud of, and that's part of what we try to be. So for Hanukkah, for us it's just another night, just another dinner, but we try to do a little something on it. We try to do a little bit for Hanukkah. So we try to have donuts, so that's the dessert every night. We actually light a menorah, when it gets time. We start at 3, so it's not yet a time, but when it gets dark, we light the menorah. We try to make a little bit of a festive environment. We have, they're called Right Light. They donate us a lot of tchotchkes, dreidels, and stickers, so we give it out for kids. We decorate the place a little bit. The truth is, we're open throughout the year. Hanukkah is just another day.
Right, you just emphasize the food culture there.
Yeah, and we for Hanukkah we're trying to, and it's also the end of the tax season, so we're trying to do a big push on donations.
Right. So if any one of our listeners wants to whip out a checkbook right now, or go online, or credit
Yeah,
card.
so we're at masbia.org and
masbia.org.
that's right.
And you can donate online.
Yes, and we have something very exciting going as a gift. We try to do these
Oh,
gifts,
that's so nice.
and it's one of the things.
You give a little, you get a little.
Yeah, so it's kind of like people want to know, what are you expecting from us? Where do you want us, like, what should be our first donation, or what should be our current donation? So we always try to have like different things out there. So what we have now is something very exciting, and especially when we're on a foodie show, this kind of comes in very
appropriately,
appropriate, so that people will appreciate what this is about. So in the past few years, there were a lot of investigative reports on how extra virgin olive oil, or those who call it EVOO,
from Rachel Ray, yeah. She coined that, I think.
So they claim that there's a lot of inaccuracy and mislabeling and adulteration in olive oil, in extra virgin olive oil, and there isn't a good system to be on top of it to have authentic olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. And there's another issue with the United States doesn't have the same high standards in their labeling that countries in the Mediterranean area have. So because Hanukkah, the whole miracle was with olive oil.
Absolutely.
So people like to use olive oil. People like to light the menorah. I personally light the menorah with olive oil.
I like my Shabbos candles with olive oil.
Yeah. So for us, it's very sentimental because it has that connection to the way it was done in the Beit HaMikdash, in the temple, and we try to, like, kind of the idea is with, like, using the olive oil is like to get to the level of with what the miracle happened with. And when the whole miracle was about getting that authentic olive oil with the seal of the high priest, of the Kohen Gadol, it was kind of like weird to me that here I'm gonna get olive oil in the grocery, and I'm not gonna even know if it's authentic or not. It's kind of like it has that exact opposite effect.
Right.
So I've learned about a farmer in Oregon, the other end of the United States.
The Pacific Northwest. I just learnt that term. Pacific Northwest, yeah.
And I learned that they have like they have olive trees, and they have a mill at the farm in where they have every end of November, and this is like the third year it's actually happening, where they have like an open season where people can come and see how they take the olives off the tree, put them in the mill, and you can get like freshly bottled.
Amazing! And you can do it yourself. You can be involved in the process.
You could be involved in the process. I mean, it'll cost you a plane ticket, but
okay, all right, whatever. People make their own matzahs. Get involved in that. Why not make your own olive oil? I would love that.
Exactly. Now, what I also learned about that there's a lot of other sentimental parts to it. So, there is a term for this type of oil, which is like right out of the mill, which is called oleonoiva. I hope I'm saying it right.
It's okay. I say everything wrong because I have an Australian accent.
So what that means is, usually our olive oil is after it's produced. They want the fruit part to kind of go to the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
And then they take the upper part and then they filter it, and that kind of is the ones that you get on the shelf. The ones with the more fruit in it, the more fruity tastes and everything, is not very shelf stable. They ferment fast. They ferment.
I would imagine, yeah.
So actually, this oil, on the bottle it says best used by March because it's so fresh and it has all the fruit flavor in it.
Do you taste the difference?
And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a good taster of olive oil. So, but the reviews are amazing. They were reviewed by the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, and it's kind of.
I would love to dip with some crusty bread in that olive oil. Yum.
So what we did with them is they have like 3 different breeds of olives, and so that means 3 different tastes of olive oil, authentic. We're talking about olive oil that was 3 weeks ago still growing. Now is in a barrel that'll be bottled to order, and for everyone who would donate to Masbia $180, they would send directly from the farm to that person
the fresh one,
the fresh olive oil. And they would actually send along a few branches of olive oil. We all know the term an olive branch. You'll actually get a few of your olive branches in your box.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah, so about the hechsher, just so people know, we don't know it does have a local hechsher over there. I don't know the people, but my understanding is that extra virgin olive oil does not need a hechsher.
I have called the OU about this, especially Pesach time. You can't always find the P with the OU, and I called them and they told me. I've actually called them from Costco, but everyone verify that yourselves. I'm not. Your rabbi, you can call the OU yourself and ask them directly. But that's
I actually also asked myself, and that's what the same answer I got. So that does not need a hechsher. It technically now has a hechsher for the first time. I don't know that hechsher. It's a local hechsher.
It's a local Oregon hechsher. Very nice. Maybe we should take a trip out there and have a look, and we always talk about taking a kosher foodie road trip. This would be it. Fantastic.
Yeah. So every November it looks like. So there's another connection to the story of Hanukkah here, where
we got about 3 minutes, so we got to.
Okay. So if we come to think of it, after the miracle happened, they went to make fresh oil. It's so nice to connect that. The fresh oil means that it was in season now. It was the olives that were seasoning just about in the Hanukkah time, which is right when these olives get done. And so there's like a very beautiful connection to very authentic cold press kind of extra virgin olive oil. We all go to Cheder and we learn how special the olives for the menorah were supposed to be made, and the oil and the whole process, that it was extra virgin, the whole thing. And now we have exactly that type of oil that you could get, so to speak, farm-to-table olive oil.
Oh, yeah, we love that term here on our radio show. You know that, right? Farm-to-fork. We're calling it farm-to-menorah here.
Farm-to-menorah. Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. And how did you find them?
That's a story by itself. Where I heard some promotion about people looking for interesting people who travel a lot. You were speaking before about traveling, and that they could overcome the problem of adulteration by actually traveling to places where there is a mill on the farm. And this was one of the examples where there is a mill at the farm during the harvest, and you could be sure that you get your olive oil, and it's real olive oil, not adulterated. And so there's another specialty to this, that there is these few months most people never had this type of olive oil because it's not on the shelves, and even in the high-end groceries, because it doesn't have a good shelf life. So this is the real fresh olive oil, and again, it's available for those who want to give a donation of $180 to Masbia. You could choose 3, so 3 would be $540. We also are offering another gift for those who are not foodies. There's a sterling silver dreidel that we're giving away.
Very nice. A lot of silver collectors out there.
Yeah, so it's at masbia.org, masbia.org. We need the help. We appreciate the help, and this is just an interesting incentive to get people to donate.
It's unbelievable. I've been so silent while you were talking because I always try to, pep it up, and you just don't need any pepping. You're amazing. Thank you so much for coming in. We could talk for an hour, just hearing stories and that experiences that you've had down there at Masbia. We keep talking about coming down to you. I'm going to do that, even with ZK or without it. I'm going to come down and we'll do some cooking down there together. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Segal Network. Our show is sponsored by Abels and Hyman. I just want to invite everyone to continue listening to the stream. We've got music sponsored by our friends at Kerem right up until Lichbensing. Shabbat Shalom. Happy cooking.